What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Matt Stingray. Thanks for checking in. So today we're going to take a look at my Citizen 8700 Eco Drive. So this is a watch I've had for quite some time, over a decade. This was the first watch my wife bought me while we were dating. And if I remember correctly, she paid somewhere around $400. Now we're talking, this is probably back around 2009, 2010. And it was the first really nice watch I ever got. Now I've always worn watches, but I've never been a watch guy. I've talked about that before on the channel. I've never really been a watch guy. I just kind of bought it, told time. If I liked the way it looked, put it on the wrist, and I rocked it. Because that's what we do here at Rock the Watch channel. We rock watches. So, but this one is special to me. It's not my favorite watch, and it doesn't get a lot of wrist time. As a matter of fact, it sat up in the closet for a long time, dead, and I just got it back out probably 6 months ago, cleaned it up, fired it back up, and she's working great. Now, when she bought me this watch, within the first couple of months, it did have to go back to get repaired. There was something wrong with the Eco Drive system or something, and it wasn't keeping time. It would just go dead. But ever since that's been fixed, it's been great. It's been working perfectly. Heck, like I said, it sat up in the closet for a couple years. Dead. I put it about 6 months ago. I put it on the windowsill of the bedroom to suck up the sunlight. And as you can see, it is ticking away, keeping excellent time. So this watch will never leave my collection, and it holds a special place, but I'm not really a fan too much. Before I knew anything about watches, I would not buy this watch today. Let's just put it that way, because of some of the specs, because of the complications, because of the build quality, because of certain issues like that. I wouldn't purchase this watch today. With that being said, though, let's take a look at some of the specs and see what we're working with here. So it has a 39 millimeter case, and I think they're measuring that in between the pushers. It has 20 millimeters lug to lug. It's 10 millimeters thick, so it's relatively thin. Now, 39 millimeters for me is right below what I like rocking. The minimum I will usually go is 40 millimeters. 40 millimeter case diameter is the minimum case that I will rock. This one, I will occasionally rock it though when I'm, bumming around the house and stuff like that, just to give it some wrist time. It is all stainless steel. It does have a very beautiful blue dial, and maybe this is what got me into blue dial watches, because I have quite a few blue dial watches and I like blue dials. They tend to really pop. It does have mineral crystal, which is one of my rubs with a lot of Citizens. It does have a mineral crystal, and it does have the press clasp with the fold over press clasp with the safety pushers. I think this is kind of an engineer style bracelet. It has the screw down case back, as you can see, and not an exhibition case back like a lot of watches are today. A lot of watches are, exhibition case back. Now, this does not have a screw down crown. And I think it only has, now the back has been just worn off, because I used to really rock this watch hard. I think it only has 30 meters of water resistance, maybe. Yeah, I think it only has like 30 meters of water resistance, which is not great. I don't really get this sucker wet. The bracelet, now I just cleaned this up probably about a month ago. It was scratched a lot. And as you can see, there's still some scratches and dings like right there. I took a Scotch-Brite pad. Guys, if you want to just knock off surface scratches and get a nice brushed finish on an old watch, take one of the Scotch-Brite, the red color Scotch-Brite pads, and just hit that sucker. I hit it all the way on the edges. I hit it on the bracelet, on the clasp. The clasp was really scratched, and as you can see, it still has some scratches, but it took a lot out. I should have done a before and after. So I did the bracelet, I did the edges, I did the case, I did around the bezel here on the outside. I just kind of cleaned it up a bit. So as far as timekeeping goes, I really don't have a problem with this watch. The Eco Drives are great. They're very accurate. I kind of dig the whole thing where if it sits in the dark for a long time, you cover it up and it's really dark. The second hand, you can see the second hand moving there. And it obviously is a quartz movement. That's what Eco Drive is. And it will stop, but it will be remembering where the time is. And as soon as it hits light, that sucker will whip around to the exact time. It's kind of cool. Some of my rubs with this watch, however, though, are the dial. In my opinion, it's really hard to read this dial. It looks like they tried to stuff everything, including the kitchen sink, into this small dial of 39 millimeters. I mean, you have the 24-hour clock, you have the day, the date. It's got all kind of leap year calendar crud here. It's got time, it's got calendar, it's got, I don't even know what all this stuff is. It's got the month. If you pull out this crown and then hit one of these buttons, that's the other thing. It's so complicated to set this sucker and learn how to, if you don't wear this a lot and mess with it a lot, you'll forget how to operate it because it's so complicated. You have to pull out the crown, hit this button, it goes to this calendar, and then you or pull out the calendar and hit the button and it'll go to what month it is. Let's see if I can even do that. I don't even remember how to do it, but it's got, as you can see, it's got the applied Roman indices that are all Roman numerals. And then along the chapter ring in there, as you can see, I don't know if you can see it, it says the months. So you can tell what month it is. There's the day, which does not line up perfectly, but it's all right. There's the date, the day and the date. There we go. Perpetual calendar water resistance 100. So 100 meters of water resistance. So I was wrong. But it's just so much jammed in such a small dial. It is hard. I have to look down and struggle to even tell what time it is, to tell where the second hand's at. Not that you really tell the time or read the time or tell people the time by the seconds, but it's just when you glance down real fast. I like to glance down at my watch. So by the way, what am I rocking today on Rock the Watch channel? The Islander ISL 10 white dial. Loving this watch. Check out my previous review of this sucker. This is an awesome watch. Plan on doing a follow-up in about a month. There's a few minor issues with this watch. Nothing with the movement. Still a beautiful watch. Still recommend it 100%. But if you guys know, after you wear something for a while, little tiny things start to pop up that might bug you. But look out for that in a couple weeks. So what are some of my other problems with this watch? Like I said, it's really hard to read because as you can see, they just stuffed a pile of junk in there with all kinds of writing, Citizen, I get it, Citizen Eco Drive, Perpetual Calendar. Oh, man, look at all that. It's just ridiculously difficult to read. So let's see if you can, so you pop out the crown once, and I don't even remember how to do this. Does that change the date? No, there you go. See the little, see it? There it goes. Now it's on time. Now it's on calendar. And if I push it in, I wonder if it'll, yep, there you go. Shoots to calendar. February, which is correct. I had to actually get online and look up videos on how to set this sucker because it was such a freaking nightmare. So as you can see, the second hand goes to February, which it is, per the Islander, Wednesday the 12th, February 12th, 2020. So that's kind of cool. I guess you pull it back out once and it goes to the 6 o'clock, which as you can see, once again, it's slightly off. It's not lined up with the 30 right there. See, there's also minute, 10, 20, 30. So there's a lot of junk in this watch, a lot of stuff. You can't even see those tiny little numbers. Pull it out, pull it all the way. You see all that craziness? I can't even take it. That's the calendar. Switch it back to, I don't know what that is. I'm gonna go back this way and go to the time. And that's putting it in, and look, it'll go right. It's cool that it can do all that stuff. I dig the technology that it requires to do all that stuff. But as far as wearing it and telling time with it, it's a royal pain in the butt. And look at the second hand. It is off. It is not lined up with that 30. Now, one of the biggest problems I have and why I try to have, you're going to see some of my beater watches do not have, the Invictas that I have don't have sapphire glass, but I try to get watches with sapphire crystals because of exactly what happened to this watch after wearing a lot. And you can see where it's still got a lot of bangs. But let's look at this dial. Look how scratchy up it is. And I hit this with that Scotch-Brite pad to try to take some of the big scratches. There were some big scratches on here. Let me rub it off right quick. So as you can see, the fingerprints are off, and look at all the scratches on there. Look at that. Look at the edge is worn down because it's got an ever so slight. So it's a dead flat mineral crystal, but it has an ever so slight, if you can hear my fingernail, just catching the edge, just like. And so over the years, as you can see, I would wear it and it would get caught on doors, and it would just whack that edge right, just scratch it right off, which is why you can see the wear right there. So, man, when I got this watch, it was before I knew what sapphire crystals were and the hardness of crystals and all that kind of stuff. And I was shocked that it would scratch this easily. And I think that's probably one of the reasons, amongst some of the other ones I pointed out, that I stopped wearing this watch. Like I stated before, it will never leave my collection because it is a gift from my wife, and I love my wife very much. And this is something she came out of pocket when we were dating. And that's tough to do, to drop 400 bones on some dude you just dating. But other things, it has solid end links, solid links. Oh, one of the other things that people notice is, so right there, I don't know if you could see it, this is a pin and collar system, but this watch is so old that the bracelet started, and you could kind of see it right there. See it? See the little pin coming out? And if I wiggle it enough, it might come all the way out. So this is one of the problems that some people will have when you hear them complain about pin and collar bracelets, is you're just wearing it, you're wearing it around. Now, of course, this is, over time you'd be wearing it and doing this jazz, and it starts to come out. Now, as you can see, it was protruding out. Now it's back in. So that's movement. That pin is moving back and forth in there because I think it's been so worn out. Now it's sticking out again. So you're just hitting it like that. Just walking through, as you're going your day, and then you can see it starting to protrude there. And I've actually worn this watch I think I probably wore this about a month ago, and it actually came out about halfway and almost fell off my wrist. So guys, that is the review of my Citizen 8700. Not my favorite watch by far in my collection. However, it is my most cherished watch. So if you like these type of reviews, oh, wait, I almost forgot. Let's get a wrist shot. I'm gonna take the Islander off. Let's see what this sucker looks like on the wrist. It's not bad. Not a bad looking watch. I think it's just pushing the limits of just a little too small for me. And amongst all the other issues that I pointed out that I have. But it's not bad looking. And as you can see, like, this is a 42. This Islander's a 42. I'm much more comfortable in this range. My range, after researching and all that kind of stuff, my range is the bottom of my range I like to stick to is 40 millimeter case diameter up to about a 43. Some 44, there's a little bit of leeway on both ends, but my sweet spot, I think, for case diameter on watches is 40 to 43. especially on dive watches. Now, of course, a lot of that has to do with how big the face is and all those other issues. But yeah, there it is on the wrist. Not bad, catches the light really well, nice and blingy and shiny, but one of the problems with that is it makes it very hard to read. So there it is, guys. There's my review of the Citizen EcoDrive 8700. If you like this type of content, like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. And as always, rock that watch.